Imagine having won the treble last season with Manchester City. The board decides to call in Pep Guardiola this summer and says to him, "Hey Pep, we think this game of football is far too easy for you, so we've decided that it's probably better for the game if we make it a little bit more difficult for you. So you're no longer able to scout in any nation. How does that sound to you?" Well, that's what the game has actually done to me, and this season I am not allowed to scout in any nation. I cannot even scout my players who are out on loan and get updates. The only thing I am allowed to do is to scout tournaments. And so the game just got much, much harder this season, and it has been a quiet transfer window up to now. Let's go and kick some balls. Hello and welcome back to Norwich, part 49, season 7, here in the Ferguson save set in the future. And yes, you did hear that correctly. My board have decided that I am no longer allowed to scout in any nation whatsoever, including England, because I cannot scout my players, my young players who are out on loan and get reports on how they are doing. The only thing that I am allowed to do is to scout tournaments or other packages of that kind. Now, I don't know why that has happened. We are not in any financial problems as far as I can see. There's no takeover about to happen. It's too late for that now. And we still have the same scouting budget as we have had for the past 3 years in which we've been scouting worldwide. And so I really don't understand what is going on here. But it's a new season, a new challenge, and whatever the challenge, we have to get on with it, we have to face it, and we'll have to see what we can make of this lack of ability to scout players. And today we will be playing our opening match of season 7, and we will be away at Sheffield United. It's a potential banana skin, but I would dearly like to get off to a good start. But before we go into what's been happening on and off the pitch, as usual, if you are brand new to the channel and you like FM content and you love to see people suffer playing this game, then why not? Subscribe, like, watch, comment, help the channel to grow, help us to support the British Heart Foundation. But before we begin this season, I think it would be a good thing if we took a look at the season for last year. Let's have a look at last year's season review. And seen as one of the best underdog sporting stories of the year, what a remarkable season this was. And we are underdogs, and we always have been underdogs. And let's have a look at the new arrivals. We brought in 6 players. Mohamed Rahim was top of the pile. We have recently signed him from his loan for £13 million. So he has become a Norwich player. He played 29 times, 8 off the bench, 6 goals, 2 assists, and had an average rating of 7.24. Saul Thomas came in, a right winger. He played only 18 times plus 18 off the bench. He had 6 goals, 9 assists. He did very, very well in his first season with an average rating of 7.2. Pasquale, what an excellent player he has turned out to be. The board think he is an exceptional signing. And he came in from Brest for £56 million, played 38 times, 9 assists, average rating of 7.1. Avbey, who came in from Rennes, only played 13 times in his first season, came in with an average of 7.09. Expect to see more of him. And then Ibaran, who came in from Newcastle for 34 million, had an exceptionally good first season, played 47 times plus 4 off the bench, 3 goals, 9 assists, with an average rating of 7.05. The only one I was slightly disappointed with was Aranda, who came in from Manchester City for 42 million, played 53 times, scored 10 goals and 13 assists, but only somehow managed to get an average rating of 6.96. Given the amount of goal involvement that he had, I think that's quite a low average rating, and I would have expected to see that much higher. But let's have a look at the season and how it unfolded. Well, despite a poor run during November and December, we managed to win the league in the end quite comfortably, and we won it over second place Chelsea by 8 points. We got off to a very good start, and we never really let it slip. after that, winning the Premier League for the second time and retaining the Premier League. We also won the Champions League, and it was a brilliant, brilliant performance, only losing twice, once to Celtic and once to Barcelona. But we made it to the final, and somehow, on penalties, we managed to beat Chelsea and take home the European Champions League. And then in the FA Cup, if we had won the FA Cup, it would be end of save now. But we have to do it all again because we were beaten by Manchester City in the quarter-final of the FA Cup, and that was quite sad. But to be expected, given that we didn't have the squad capable of winning all the trophies. And the same goes for the Carabao Cup, where we were knocked out in the semi-final by Arsenal. Slightly unfortunate, but Arsenal were a better team than we are, and possibly that was the right result. And then in the Community Shield against Chelsea, we managed to beat Chelsea again, and we won the Community Shield by 3-1. But the league and the Champions League were what this season was all about. And moments to remember this season, we had a 6-1 win over Brentford, and the fans really enjoyed the 5-0 away victory at Brighton. And the goal of the season was scored by Zaprapoulos. It was just a free kick. I think there were many, many better goals than the one that the fans have chosen to be goal of the season. In terms of finances, we now have become a 5-star reputation club, and we have gone up half a star. Of course, we would have with the Champions League win, and now we are top of the pile in terms of reputation. We have a 5-star rating. And of course, all our revenue is up. But once again, broadcast revenue somehow fell. But we're not too worried about that. We are making money. We're making a lot of money for this club at the moment. I just wish they would reflect that in the transfer budgets that they give us. And merchandise, we sold 646,471 shirts. Puk was top of the pile this year, followed by Aranda, Wilden, Pasquale and Matic. Matic, of course, who may well leave us this season. And Matic was one of the 2 players in the first 11 who failed to get an average rating above 7, and Aranda being the other one. Everyone else, though, absolutely superb, and 44 goals once again for Lewis Wilden. I can't argue with that team. Looks like a very good team to me. Maybe Flores could come in and Jay Neal could come in, but what a team, what a squad, what a season. And in terms of the accolades, in terms of club awards, Lewis Wilden, of course, was the fans' player of the year. He is now 32 years old now. We can only possibly get one more season out of him. 21-year-old Ibaran was the young player of the season, and the signing of the season for the fans was Carlo Pasquale. He is going to be a good signing for this club. Zaprapoulos scored the goal of the season, as we know, and Lewis Wilden was the top goal scorer with 44 goals. Zaprapoulos top assists with 20 assists. Lewis Wilden got 9 Man of the Match awards. Zaprapoulos top average rating with 7.3. Most passes completed per 90 minutes was by Henry Flores. And the record breakers got 26 clean sheets. As a goalkeeper, he does well sometimes, but he does worry me on occasions as well. If we get a bid in for him in the summer, I will think very carefully, and it's possibly that we could sell him. He has a good price tag on him. Most league goals by a player now. Lewis Wilden has scored a total of 216 goals for the club. I actually think that was more last year, and there might be a glitch in the game, but 216 goals is a phenomenal amount of goals for our striker. We hope we can get one more good year out of him. And the highest transfer fee ever paid was for Pasquale, 55.5 million, and he has delivered on that price tag. And also the highest transfer fee received came this season when we sold Dimitri Fortes for £51.48 million to Tottenham. And in terms of competition awards, there were some. Lewis Wilden got the European Golden Boot, and then English Premier Division top goal scorer was Lewis Wilden. The English Premier League Golden Glove went to Johannes Gotts, and the UEFA Champions League midfielder of the season went to Zaprapoulos. These boys really did us proud this season. It was this year history in the making. It is going to be very, very difficult to repeat this in the coming seasons. We have one challenge left now, that is to win the European Champions League, the Premier League and the FA Cup in one season. Do we have time to do it? We shall find out. But for now, we will just revel in the glory of last season. And it is going to be very tough to beat that this season. And to do that, we will have to win the treble. And I don't think that that is very likely at this point in time. But we do have 6 seasons left of the challenge in order to win the treble. So we've got to remain optimistic that at some point we will do it before 12 seasons are up. And yes, probably many people are wondering what happened in the Community Shield. As champions last year, we would of course be invited to play in that competition. And we were playing against Newcastle this season. And this is what happened. And so the season has started very well. And if we have a look at the schedule, we have Sheffield United today. We will then play Rennes in the UEFA Super Cup, and we'll follow that this month with Chelsea, Manchester United and Everton. It is a tough opening month, but I'm hoping that we are going to be able to navigate this without too much of a problem. Quickly moving over to what happened in the transfer window. Well, not really much. We have let go Lay. He went to FLA for £18.25 million. And we sold Nikita Matic to Barcelona for £59 million. We got £49 million up front, which was extremely handy. We have brought in 3 players. We have brought in Mohamed Rahim, centre-back from Manchester City. We already know of him. He's a very fine player, and hopefully now he's a permanent member of the team. He will go on to have some very good seasons for us. And then a player I've been tracking for quite a while. We brought in Zoran Maric from Hoffenheim for £63 million. He's never been available to me because we simply couldn't afford him in the past. And he looks like the kind of player that the other teams have, the teams like Liverpool and Tottenham and Manchester United, a sea of green, and he looks like he is an extremely good player. Although because of injury he was forced to make his debut a little bit early from my point of view in the Community Shield game, and he started his career here at Norwich with a 6.3. That actually doesn't bode well for the coming season, but I still think he is a very good player. He will be a good replacement for Matic and can play in a lot of different positions equally well. He is a very, very solid signing, I hope. And then we signed Igor Babic from Dinamo Zagreb. We bought him for £5.25 million. He is a central defender. He's 19 years old, can play as a right fullback as well, and his mentals are very, very impressive for his age. He's one for the future, and we have loaned him back to Dinamo Zagreb for the coming season. I think he will be in the future. He will definitely be a first-team player very soon. And that's it in terms of the transfer window. Very little has happened. And in terms of injuries, it's not looking very good at the moment because we have two of our three players who can play on the right wing. They are both injured. And Saul Thomas, he's expected to be out for about 4 weeks. He has a sports hernia. And Zaprapoulos was first to go. He got a pulled calf muscle. He's expected to be out for 6 days to 2 weeks. And that means that Maric is going to have a very busy start to his Norwich career because he is now the only one who can play on that right wing. I have to have another plan, and I do have a youngster sitting on the bench, and it might be that a change of formation in some of the games might have to happen. The game already is playing hardball this season. It's going to be very, very difficult to emulate what we did last season. But now I think let's take on each challenge as it comes, and today our challenge is Sheffield United. Let's go and kick some balls. And so the team for the opening game of the Season 7 is Gotts in goal with Kamara, Reguan, Abve and Plantier at the back, Ibaran, Pasquale and Maric in midfield. Aranda, Kitambala and Wilden will play up front. I don't feel very optimistic for some reason about this game. Having beaten Newcastle in the Community Shield, I think this is a game we should be winning, but it's also a very, very difficult match. I'm going to tell them that this is a game that we should be winning, and I need to have strong performances out there. I just hope that we've done this right and that we will actually play well. I know Maric is, for me, he's premature in terms of his debut, but with Zaprapoulos out and Josh Thomas out, then it is very, very difficult. I have to play him, and I can't buy more than 3 wingers. And if the game injures 2 of them, then I have got a problem. Here is Ibaran. Ibaran finds the Reguan. Reguan to Kamara. Maric back to Kamara. That's a poor pass, and this is what I was kind of concerned about, that we don't actually, even though we did win that game against Newcastle, we don't actually look like we're playing very well, and we have gone a goal behind. And I have a funny feeling, I hope this is disallowed, because I have a funny feeling I have to do this time I'm going to have to play in the opposite way that I should be playing. Now, they are definitely going to be hitting balls over the top, which is not according to what the way that they should be playing. So I'm going to come off the counter press, and I'm going to trigger press less often, and we're going to go into a low block. And this will be then the opposite of what we should be actually doing. And I think this season that might be the way to beat the game. The game, as for years I've been saying, this game is no more than a puzzle. You've got to solve the clues. And the reason that I'm thinking this is because against Newcastle, when we went pressing high up the pitch, Newcastle capitulated, but they were beating us easy in the low block. And so we should be playing in the low block against Newcastle, and it didn't work. And when I changed it to a way that we should definitely not be playing against them, we managed to beat them. And at the moment, I'm not very happy with this team. And Wilden's having an absolute shocker. Wilden has just signed a brand new contract, and I'm furious with some of these players. And they're going to have to get their act together. And I'm going to tell Wilden, Aranda, Kitambala, they're all dreadful. In fact, it's Maric who's having the best game so far. And Gotts is getting in there. He didn't quite know how to react to that. And I'm going to say I'm furious with your furious with your performance out there. We have to go attacking as well. We can't afford to not win this game, and we have to go for it. Sheffield United are clearly a better team than us today, and I don't quite know what has happened. I told you at the beginning that I suspected that this would happen, and we need to make some changes now. And once again, I have had to replace my goalkeeper, and I've had to replace the whole of the front line, because if one of them plays badly up front, everybody plays badly up front. And I had to do that also in the Community Shield. We had to change the entire front line. I'm furious with Wilden, just given him a brand new contract. I should have sold him. And other players have been given brand new contracts and they've just not showed up. But here's Jay Neal. He was also given a new contract in the summer. As Marich looks to get a ball in, we have equalised, and it's Pook who has equalised, and that makes me feel a little better. Not a great deal, but they are checking for offside. Is it going to be given offside? I suspect it might be. No, it's going to be awarded. I want to go and win this game now. I'm not going to accept a draw here. We have to go and win this game. Well, this is not good enough against Sheffield United. Come on, boys. We don't need to see it the third time. We're going to go very attacking now. We're going to go and take them on and see if we can't win this football match. It's just been a terrible, terrible start. We didn't look great against Newcastle, and we've looked even worse here. And I think maybe it is time. We've had so many good starts as a Norwich team. It maybe is time that we have a poor start. But here is Jay Neal. Jay Neal looking long for Fanardi. Fanardi with a chip, and it's hit the crossbar. Somehow Sheffield United have survived. It comes back out and it's gone to Pook. Pook with the ball into the box. It's headed clear. We're finishing stronger than Sheffield United, but it's not a good result. I'm not a happy manager. That's a good tackle. Here's Pasquale picking the ball up. We need some of his aggression now. Pook looking for Jay Neal. Jay Neal, since he come on, has been a danger. Allen finds Pook. Pook is in the penalty area, and we've been given a penalty. We have a chance. It probably will be Fanardi to step up and take the penalty. I'm not quite sure why he's looking like he's injured. He was a long way from the action, and he just may be tired. And the penalty's awarded. It's going to be Fanardi. Can Fanardi put this away and give us the result that we need here? In fact, it's going to be Marich. Marich with the drive. It's in. It's 2-1 to Norwich. And Marich has come good. He is a great player. And I thought that might be Fanardi taking it. But he is a leader. And he decided, okay, I'm taking it. And now I'm going to go back to a positive mentality. Just try and hold on to this now. I think maybe even now would be the time to go into the low block. But it is full time. We have beaten Sheffield United by 2-1. That was a tough start. We were not at our best, and we're going to have to improve on that. But it is a win, and the win is a win. Only just, though, and we are currently in 6th. It's meaningless at the moment. It's all about, can we maintain a run of form? And we have come to the end of the first episode of Season 7 now. We will play Rennes in our next game in the UEFA Super Cup, and then we'll follow that with Chelsea, Man United and Everton. I think Champions League will start somewhere around the beginning of September, and that's where we'll come back. As soon as the Champions League is drawn, I will know, but it will be somewhere around the beginning of December, and we will have more news of the transfer window. And I think there may be 1 or 2 more things happening before the window closes. And that's it. If you are brand new to the channel and you like FM content and you love to see people suffer playing this game, then you are in the right place. So why not subscribe, like, watch, comment, help the channel to grow, help us to support the British Heart Foundation. I can't say that I'm happy at the moment, but I'm content. We haven't got off to the best start that I had hoped. We're not really playing as well as I would like us to. We do have a couple of crucial injuries, but they will be back soon. We need to just get through the month of August, and then hopefully we'll still be in a very strong position. All that remains to be said now is stay safe, take care, and we'll see you in the next episode.